course of the evening. This is a nearly 4-hour event, sometimes over 4 hours, and we're going to hear the challenges that Cliff and his team are facing from on top of the pit box.
Marty, what you got?
Hey, Diff, Ty Gibbs does not need a win to make the playoffs, but he does need a simple, solid night. Right now, plus 39 above the cut line. Chris
wanted the extra seat time to better himself for tonight's race. He said running that race last night, he definitely feels like he learned a couple of things that will help him here today. This team is still in the hunt for the regular season championship, just 18 points behind Tyler Reddick, but they've got some work to do tonight, Dave, rolling off from the 20th position.
Kim, there's only one way in for Chase Briscoe, and that is to win tonight in the Southern 500. The 14 car is good, but it needs to win the race. It's out of the points as far as making it in. So what did Chase do? He qualified third. Is that a one-hit wonder? No, not according to crew chief Richard Boswell. They had a practice where they ran long runs, and over the long run, the 14 was very good as well. He said, we just hit the balance right in qualifying to put ourselves up front. We want to stay there. We want to win our way in. Lee?
Dave, let's remind everybody at home just what's at stake here again by looking. If you're in yellow, you're good. You go into the playoffs next week in Atlanta. If you're in white, if you're above that cut line or below, there's a lot on the line here tonight. Feeling a little more confident if you're Martin Truex Jr., but the closer you get to that red line, the more nerve-wracking it is, the more pressure-filled it is. Like the pole sitter in the Air Force Camry, Bubba Wallace, who is 21 on the wrong side of that cut line.
And we've talked, this is your first trip to Darlington, Lee, and you continue to ask, like, what makes it special from a competitor? And it's just the lack of gimmicks. There's nowhere to hide. There's no secret to be good at this racetrack. You have to have a great pit crew, a great race car driver, and a great race car. That's very hard to do. And then be...
All right, man. Proud of you. No after it. No personal. Yes, sir. Thanks.
Good stuff. This man showed tremendous resilience and guts yesterday. Bubba Wallace not once but two qualifying runs to show how determined and how driven he is.
The 2024 Southern 500 is underway. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing.
To continue one of the best traditions of racing. It's time for the Southern 500.
Oh, wow, for a big start.
And then here comes Lawson.
Larson right back at it.
Hocevar's been shuffled back a couple of positions as Reddick moves his way up to third.
Tyler Reddick coming up now. 3-car breakaway in the front.
And the question begs, does the guy we saw in qualifying as Reddick was ducking low to try and make an early move, then thinks about it twice? Does the man we saw yesterday in qualifying in Bubba Wallace, does he continue that trend here tonight?
Well, when I talked to Woody Barker today, he had two simple words. He always gives me kind of their mantra, what they're going to be. As you see 3 wide racing back in the pack, he said, Stevie, all out. We're going to be all out all night. It's either going to make it or it isn't. I love that mantra. I think that's what it's going to take.
Well, they're going all at it right now. You race that hard this early on this racetrack, and you'll be lucky to get by with the 3 wide, Steve. That is aggressive.
Oh!
Truex Jr.
Yep, and Blaney.
Takes Blaney up into the wall with him.
Two of the best cars
Truex.
in practice. I thought Blaney was the best long-run car. And here you heard him, I'm an idiot. Truex says he's an idiot. He knows he made a mistake only 2 laps into the race. Truex 58 above the cut line. Mathematically not a guarantee, but I thought everything was going to be easy. This is an uphill battle already.
That is a huge moment in this race and perhaps in the year. How much damage does Truex car have?
It hurts Ryan Blaney from the standpoint of potential stage points and then the overall points. He's locked into the playoffs, but this was what neither driver wanted.
Truex just simply got into the corner too hard for the amount of grip that he had. That's part of this, though. Lap 3, he doesn't really know. It chases the car up the racetrack, makes contact with William Byron, overcorrects the car. Big damage to Blaney.
He wrecks himself because he knew the option 2 was to wreck the 24. That's not Truex's style at all. He didn't want his mistake to affect the 24. Unfortunately, taking himself out got blamed.
That's one of those wrecks. Look at, as we ride along, he just got up the racetrack. That's one of those wrecks on lap 3 at Darlington Do you really want to be 3 wide getting into turn 1? This is something that 15 years ago we never would do.
Right.
The drivers have gotten more and more aggressive in how they approach turn 1. Chris Buescher sneaking by. Look, Martin Truex Jr. is one of our sport's best, period. Just a little too much aggression early in the race.
Everybody talks about racing the racetrack 25 times. Martin Truex Jr. has run Darlington. He knows what this racetrack holds, and yet a mistake like this just proves all the hyperbole about Darlington, the track too tough to tame.
It's true.
It's on display 2 laps in.
It's true, and Martin has an extraordinary record here as you see Ryan Blaney step from his car. You'll see him in the playoffs, but this is far from an ideal situation. Let's have a listen.